awesome man cave with a full bar. Closets by Design can customize the perfect entertainment space for you to gather for game days. Call 904-878-9393 to schedule your free in-home design consultation and get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and free installation, or visit closetsbydesign.com.
There's only one sport with games to bet every day the rest of the summer, and there's only one legal app to bet it. Bet baseball on Hard Rock Bet, your home to bet home runs, strikeouts, even the next at-bat. It's secure and regulated, so your money is safe. Step up to the plate with towering parlays that can turn a dollar bet into a max payout up to $2 million.
It's out of here!
Hard Rock Bet.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical, providing unsurpassed quality in Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau counties. No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trusted company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
This is Hayes Carlion for First Florida Credit Union. I went to the branch on 210 to get my car loan and had a fantastic experience. I got a great rate and was in and out. The online banking services are also outstanding. Depositing checks through the mobile app is fast and efficient. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Credit Union in the Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards for 3 years running, and it's easy to see why. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Hey, I'll be home in about 10 minutes. Actually, make it 8.
Hey, Mom. Yep, I'm walking home now. Mom, I'm trying to cross, but I don't think this driver sees me. No, they're driving too fast. Mom!
Speeding catches up with you. Early, on time, a little late, just get there safely. A message from the Florida Department of Transportation's Target Zero initiative.
I'm local attorney Rick Alexander. In my 30 years practicing law, I've learned you never want to choose money over health. It's always a bad deal. Unfortunately, when someone screws up and you get hurt, that choice is gone. Your only choice is whether you face the future with a lawyer or without one. If you're hurt because somebody screwed up, call me at the practice. The Alexander Law Practice, 904-400-6600, or alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
My wife was like, I want to go to Hawaii and I want to bring the kids. And I was like, whose kids?
Jim Gaffigan. Everything is wonderful.
I spent the entire time applying and reapplying sunscreen, which thankfully makes my skin whiter.
Jim Gaffigan, a night of all new material. December 27th, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster. Produced by Outback Presents.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
I'm Olivia Brooks with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by JEA. Florida head coach John Summerall took the podium at SEC Media Days today. One of his biggest takeaways was the growth of the Gators' offensive line, saying the group has made strong gains in the weight room and has become more confident pushing heavy weight this offseason. Listen to 1010XL for live updates all day to hear from Gators players Jaden Baugh, Miles Graham, and Vernell Brown III. It's 92 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Tom missed the assignment. He is not in orange and blue. Like, clearly I am for Florida Day down at SC Media Days. And Taylor's in orange and blue, too.
I just love orange.
Yeah, well, there are 3 other teams down there today, right?
Yeah,
Ole Miss,
which
Bama.
one of those are you dressed like?
Neither. I'm not even dressed like my old school. I don't know what colors I am.
Yes, Alabama kicked things off today with Kalen DeBoer, and then, of course, John Summerall in the Florida contingent. And then Pete Golding was just at the podium in the big room a few minutes ago with Ole Miss, and then Mike Elko wraps it up around 3 o'clock today with Texas A&M, and then, of course, all the different players. But, yeah, it was great to hear Frank and Matt interview Jaden Baugh and Vernell Brown III and Miles Graham, the 2 legacy picks. And look, VB3 I thought was incredibly well spoken.
He was, yeah.
Very well spoken. Talked about holistic type things with the offense now, that they get to know the big picture, thanks to Buster Faulkner, how he organically knew about Florida's history, even though, yes, his dad played at the University of Florida. And I want to say his grandfather did too. But yeah, super cool to hear from them. And then John Summerall just blew everyone away today. And look, it's podium stuff. That has nothing to do with wins and losses on Saturdays. But I will tell you, the last guy didn't blow people away at the podium.
No, they were falling asleep at the watching him at the podium. But yeah, I think when it comes to VB3, there was a lot of good things out of that. When it comes to just how far away the Florida program has come from what it used to be, and he didn't specifically say that, but Matt and Frank were asking him, like, do you know the feeling of what the Florida fans want and what that environment at the Swamp can be like again? And he was like, I do, because I grew up a Gator. And then they were asking if he talks to the team in the way of, like, do you talk to them as it used to be like this all the time? And he said, yeah, the Texas game. He was like, at the Texas game, I was like, man, this is how it should be all the time, and it used to be. And so that's cool, because I do think that obviously you have to win games, and that's the next part of this. And John Summerall said that. VB3 said that at the end when Matt was trying to get him a little bit to be like, can you guys make that next turn as a program? And he was kind of like, we got to prove it. And I love that answer, because you can say all you want at podiums and when you're talking to people and even at practice, but if you're not winning the games once September starts, it doesn't count. And so I love that there's a confidence there, but there's also a realization that it's not easy to win these football games, and they have a long way to go, including Summerall. Summerall said, if we don't get better, we're going to get our asses kicked. And it's true. They have now for years in a row.
Yeah. When I was listening to VB3, as we're calling him, Vernon, right? Vernon Brown.
Yeah.
Vernell.
Yeah. His grandfather played at Florida in the 80s.
Right,
and then
right. Absolutely. So listen to him talk. It made me think right away, like, Summerall's preaching team first. You can tell. It's not about me. You're not going to goad me into saying nothing. It's all about, hey, we're just going to, do this, work hard, try to win, very humble. You could tell that might be the push from the beginning. It's all about team. It's not about individuals. Yeah, we all want to be the best we can be, but the team's got to come first. That's what it felt like to me. I didn't hear all the summer. I'm looking forward to catching up and listening to all of it, but he's a fiery coach, man. I was saying in the crosstalk, like, he reminds me a little bit of Tom, and Liam reminds me of Tom a little bit, just in a different kind of approach. But it's, look, when you're a player in a transition like that, and you've been losing, and you're not successful, like, you're like, okay, I'm ready for the change. So if I gotta go into this believing that, hey, whatever structure he's given, I'm gonna abide by it, because we've been losing.
Yeah.
And I want to win. I don't, losing sucks. It's terrible. Back then you couldn't just leave and transfer and all that kind of thing. But it is a feeling of John Summer. I love that. And same with Liam. It's no nonsense. Like, it's like, here it is. This is what I expect.
Yeah.
And if you can't handle it, then we're going to figure something out. We'll find another place for you to go, or you won't play, or whatever the case may be. And a lot of guys, they say all these things. We'll talk about Leonard Fournette, and then they step back, and then they're like, yeah, it's the right way, especially when you're trying to build a team, type culture and atmosphere. It's got to be the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to lead the team. Yeah, you're the best in your position. Everyone loves. Look, you walk into the room, everyone's like, "Holy cow, there's so and so. We love him on our team. He's awesome." But at the end of the day, the team comes before the success comes before all of that.
Well, and it's not like Florida is at a point where it hit rock bottom. Like,
no,
I mean,
know.
it kind of did.
In
but
their
at the
way,
same
it
time,
did, right?
2 years ago, when Jaden Powell was a freshman, Florida was 8-5.
Yeah.
So it's not like they had a losing season his first year there, right? So he probably thought they were headed in the right direction. And then last year, obviously, they took the massive step back, and then the head coach gets fired. So it just changes so quickly.
But he's
college.
an 8-5 at Florida.
Is not great.
Yeah.
It's not good
but everyone
at all,
thought
right?
that Napier finally had it going, right?
Yeah.
All the jokes.
That was the start
Turn
of
the
going
corner.
Yeah, all the jokes about all the resources that he was given and all the staff
Jeez,
he
think
had
what
hired.
Florida State thought.
Yeah.
Correct. And that's what I'm saying. It
You know what I
happens
mean?
so fast. And
It
that's
does.
what, for
Unbelievable.
us, we've had the benefit, or I should say, basically, so to speak, as far as we're all old enough to have seen it be cyclical for a lot of different schools. Miami,
Oh, yeah.
when you first started in radio, Taylor,
Yeah.
Miami was a team that people were making fun of because their last good year was closer to the year 2000 than the year 2010 and beyond, right? And then all of a sudden,
Even
now,
Georgia football, I mean, they won,
Sure.
but they weren't winning like they are now. And it was, since
It's all
the
Bama.
80s and since the, and
they
so
had double-digit wins
win
under Mark
seasons,
Richt, but they just weren't getting over
able
the
to
hump.
win those big games when
Right,
it
but
mattered,
they
and
weren't
obviously the Natty.
awful, at that point in time. But and so it does change. Like Tennessee for a while, Tennessee, even Florida State before, I guess, right after Jimbo Fisher, but before Mike Norvell, under Willie Taggart, that was kind of rock bottom for them. And so it does change quickly. So we, as adults, I should say, or people that have covered this industry for a while, we have the benefit of seeing how things can change. When you're a 19, 20-year-old, all you can focus on is the head coach you have right now, the players you have on your team, and what can you do in the 12 Saturdays that you have in front of you.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't get the benefit of looking back in 5 years and saying, look at the turnaround that we were able to do and we got the school back on track. Yes, you want to get back to winning ways, but you want to do it right away.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and like what Vernon was saying, understanding yesteryear and what it means to be a Gator, and how that, it's like at Notre Dame, BC has a little bit of it, but not like those two schools. There's a history that you're trying to match. Like you say 8-5, most Gator fans, 8-5, that's like awful. Like BC's 8-5, we're happy. Like we're like, that's exciting. You know what I mean? You guys, and the standard is standards. We should be one of the top teams in the country year after year. Understanding that as a player, you know what I mean? Like this is the expectation. It's not just a win. We're supposed to win the SEC. We're supposed to be in the hunt. We're supposed to be contending for the national title. I mean, that's the expectation.
But the
that's
previous
history.
coaches have not, other than, yes,
I know,
coaches had gotten
but
to
the
the
history.
SEC championship, just not one. But there hasn't been the feeling that, and Florida State understands this, Miami understands it until recently, like when they walk out, there's that swagger. Right? Like that's how Florida was known for quite some time. Once Spurrier got there, obviously. That's how Florida State was.
Oh, yeah.
Almost every year
Miami
under
for
Bobby Bowden
sure.
until the end, and then Miami and under different coaches, right? And that part has been missing. And so you hope and pray that John Summerall is the right guy for this job right here, right now, to be able to at least get double-digit wins in the near future, because that's what you need in order to make the college football playoff.
Yeah, and I think it's part of the conversations we've had too now of how college football has changed. You talk about Vernell Brown and how his dad went and his grandpa went, so he has these deep ties into being a Florida Gator, so it means a little bit more to him, and that's what we don't want to lose in college football, but how we have started to see go away a little bit. When someone goes to 3 or 4 schools, are you really tied to any program to where you're like, I'm fighting for this program through and through? And that's what I'm worried about we're losing in college football, because I think we're seeing less and less of that, because if you don't get to start, you'll go transfer and go to another school. If you don't, the coaching changes sometimes make sense, but we've seen guys just straight up be like, I'm not getting the playing time I want, or I'm not playing the exact position I want, so I'm going to go here, or this school's paying me more money. And so those are all tying into this now, and that's one thing that Georgia and Kirby, and hearing Kirby talk about that, the quarterbacks, for example, he's one of the programs recently that has been successful in just keeping on bringing in and developing these quarterbacks, and the quarterbacks aren't afraid to sit there and wait their turn for a little bit, or go to a JUCO school and come back and figure it out at the next shot. And so not every program has that right now, but winning helps that. So if Florida can get back on track of winning, then it gets to that point where it doesn't have to be somebody whose dad and grandpa went there for you to have that something like super instilled into you of why you want to be a Florida Gator.
Well, and that's why, as a Gator fan, I'm excited for John Summerall because if he wasn't the right guy, then guys like Miles Graham and guys like VB3 wouldn't have returned to Florida.
Right.
They would have
That's
said,
fair.
I came here because I'm a legacy, but I want to
like him.
I want to go win. Obviously, the families like him.
Yeah.
The roster retention that Summerall kept, we didn't even talk that
Jaden
much
Baugh
about
is a
Jaden
big
Baugh,
one
but
of those. Yeah,
absolutely.
Humongous. Yeah, to be able to stick.
He's an absolute stud, and he was basically the entire offense down the stretch.
And you know
a
people
season
are coming
ago.
after him.
Of
left
course
and right.
they were.
Big
Even
money.
more so for him
Yeah.
because I do think of Vernell, because his parents went there, it makes you want to be like, well, my dad did it, and I want to play where my dad. Jaden Baugh didn't have that. Jaden Baugh stayed because he wants to play for John Summerall, and I think that's a really important thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And by the way, when it comes to the quarterback, he would give no timeline. John Summerall would not, and just said he thinks he has 2 starters. So that part is good to hear. I feel like he's not as keen on the offensive line, even though they've done a lot of work. But as we've talked
A lot of
about,
newness there.
absolutely, yeah, a ton of new players. But yeah, whatever it ends up happening with John Summerall at Florida, at least as of now, the vibes are high.
Yeah.
That part is
you need
good.
it.
That part is exciting. And we could have known or should have known that he had this type of energy that he has that people really got excited about today because he was coaching 2 programs
At one time.
Yeah.
He was coaching one program and then trying to also keep players at Tulane, but also recruit players to Florida and things like that all at once during the college football playoff.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead. I was just going to say the retention numbers say it all.
Absolutely.
That's what should get Gator fans excited. That all those kids decided to stick and see what John Summerall can do.
And by the way, on Dallas Wilson, John Summerall said that the 6'3", 218-pounder is back. He feels great, and they did take him to Oregon to visit the Nike headquarters, and he was fitted with a special cleat.
Okay.
That because he had foot issues last season, and so the special cleat is hopefully going to make him
The couple $100
feel-
grand in swag.
Hey, that works too. Whatever it takes.
Take it, baby.
Whatever it takes.
Take it.
That's right. All right. We do want to talk, or hear, I should say, from Leonard Fournette and talk a little Tom Coughlin when we return. You can always get in on the action. 904-641-1010 on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You are listening to Helmets and Heels, 10 to Nick on 92.5 FM.
The home of Jaguars fans.
We are We're 2 more till we die, baby.
1010XL.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. Are you looking for a remix on the original Chick-fil-A sandwich? The Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is back for a limited time only this summer. It's a flavorful spin on a familiar favorite created with Chick-fil-A chicken, a drizzle of honey, pickled jalapenos, and a spread of savory pimento cheese. This sandwich combines your favorite flavors with a new twist. Available for a limited time only, so stop by and enjoy the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich at Chick-fil-A today.
If you're getting estimates for replacement windows, do yourself a favor. Get one more. Prosser here. I did, and I was blown away. Cash Building Materials' local team is so experienced, and they know exactly what works for Jacksonville homes at a surprising price. You owe it to yourself to see what they can do before making a decision. Before you buy windows or doors, get a cash quote. Search Cash Building Material. Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Covering the SEC from the ground up, it's Cash Building Material SEC Media Days.
Let's do it. Come on.
Get to know the players and coaches of the SEC. Installed by Window World of Northeast Florida and Lucas Tree Service on 1010XL.
You may not be able to control the air you breathe on the outside, but you certainly can on the inside of your home. Just call Florida Home AC and ask about the Remy Halo. It's the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
It's almost time to kick off the 2026 season at the bank. Whether you want to be at the center of it all as a season ticket member, lock in 3 or more games with a bundle at the bank, or cheer on the Jags at your most anticipated matchup, there's a way for everyone to be a part of the action. Seating is limited, so don't wait. Secure your tickets now by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
It's Christmas in July at Beard's Diamonds with as much as 40% off everything in the store. Maybe it's time to treat yourself to a fabulous fashion ring, necklace, or bracelet. You can do it now and save as much as 40% off Beard's already unbeatable prices. And don't forget, Beard's is the town center's locally owned diamond superstore. Don't settle for the corporate chain store experience when you can get the value, service, and attention you deserve. Don't miss Christmas in July. Save up to 40% exclusively at Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
Hacker here, and I'm going to be up in New England for the next couple of days, taking in a little family getaway before football season. And thanks to Awaken 180, that family getaway will include some water parks, some hide and seek, some water balloon battles, some silly string battles with my 7-year-old and other kids in the family up there in the New England area. 2 years ago, when I was over 300 pounds, I could not have dreamed of doing that, particularly in the hot summer months. But thanks to Awaken 180, the coaching I got, the guidance I got, the weight absolutely fell off. It's the real deal. Results speak for themselves. I lost over 100 pounds thanks to the best weight loss program I've ever been on. Go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800 and do what I did. Get your life back with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Oh, she's sweet but a psycho, a little bit psycho. At night she's screaming, I'm on my mind. Oh, she's hot but a psycho, so left but she's
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, Jared Justice filling in for RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Today is going to be Jared's music. Tomorrow is going to be all Tom McManus's music. So if you enjoy the playlist, you let us know. But Jared, what is on tap for us first?
That would be Ava Max, Sweet But Psycho.
All right.
Sweet But Psycho.
Don't play that for your ladies,
Sweet
everybody.
But
Don't
Psycho.
play that for your ladies.
No,
Dedicate this one to you, babe.
You got to announce you have a type.
There you have
Sweet
it.
but psycho.
Before we get to Leonard
It's a
Fournette.
little Liam Cohen-esque. He can be sweet, but he's psycho at times.
That's right.
I guess psycho can be viewed as positive or negative.
Yeah.
I feel like it has a stronger negative connotation,
Yeah.
but it can be
Sometimes they're
positive.
like, man, he's a psycho, but it's like
Right.
he's
Yeah, positive
insane
way,
at whatever
right.
he does.
Yeah,
like
you're
savage.
psycho.
Exactly.
Right.
Before we get to Leonard Fournette, a few comments off the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. I'm calling that 2023 loss the Arkansas game. That's evidence of just how horrific Billy Napier was. He was so bad I rooted against him ever since that game.
Oh.
I've told this story before. I ran into a neighbor one day. It's been a couple years ago now. And he was like, I hope Florida loses the rest of their games this season because I want Napier fired. And I was like, I am not to that point. Now, in hindsight, that person was probably right.
Yeah.
Another one off the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. I sure hope the O-line gets together quickly before the Auburn game so they can be ready for Ole Miss. Yep, the schedule's not easy, that's for sure. And then this person said, the Gators are one of the biggest fake teams. They were never a dynasty. They had 2 good coaches ever. They've sucked the last 18 years. Sorry, I'm a little hard on the Gators. But yeah, I understand the last time Florida was super relevant, probably like 2020 under Dan Mullen, I'd say. And
Okay.
that was
Fair.
a brief
Yeah.
period of time, but it was super exciting. Kyle Trask to Kyle Pitts was awesome.
And it was COVID year, so that year was weird for a lot of people, and people almost toss it aside at at certain points
Yeah,
too.
right.
But yeah, Mullen's team, but then the rhetoric is that he stopped recruiting basically and gave up on that part of things. You couldn't do that back then. Now, honestly, you could give up pretty much on recruiting and just lean heavily into the portal.
Yeah, you could.
As long as you've got the dollars to do so. And so, yeah, you wonder if he had stayed the coach a little bit longer, what could have happened, because that offense was certainly electric. But yeah, Billy Napier came in, and I think a lot of things regressed, and that's the sad part. I will give the players that spoke today, those three, the trio, I'll give them this credit. None of them said a negative word about the previous staff and regime. Even when asked about what's the difference in nutrition, what's the difference between in weightlifting and things like that. They just said, hey, we're doing great now, but they wouldn't talk trash. And that may be coaching by whoever was in the media department, right, that sent them out there. But I also think that that's Billy Napier's not a bad dude, so
Right.
they don't really want to talk negatively about him.
Yeah.
He didn't leave them as they made the college football playoff, like the Ole Miss players can say.
Yeah.
But he just wasn't the right coach.
Yeah, and you committed to him, so there's a level of respect, and at some point there was something there that made you want to play for Billy Napier. And unfortunately, I think a lot of it, which we've talked about it a lot on this show, is more the in-game stuff. And so when the players are talking about how the locker room was or how the weight room was and stuff like that, that's not anything that they need to criticize. Now, we were talking yesterday, like, wish we heard a little bit more honesty like we did from Rory about some of that, but a player's not going to do that. A player's going to be very loyal in that sense, especially when that is a guy that you committed to, because everyone's going to be like, well, you said yes to come play for him. So that's partly on you also.
Well, and look, players can still like a coach that doesn't have a good, tenure.
Yeah.
They, like you said, maybe he's not a bad dude and they like him. He's not the coach, When Big Nell was fired, we were like, oh, good. I'm so glad he's gone. We were just like, yeah, it's time. He was a great guy, People still respected him and whatnot, but it was time for a change and time to move on. You're excited for the change.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Speaking of coaches, Leonard Fournette was on the podcast 4th and South that he does with Jarvis Landry, and he was discussing your former head coach, Tom Coughlin.
We was in Jacksonville, right? Yeah. We had Tom Coughlin, old school. If we didn't come in shape, they used to fine us $5,000 to $10,000 per pound. What? Real bro. He was old school like that. I came in at 232. I got fined $5,000, bro.
For 1 pound?
No. I had to have a real man-to-man talking to him. I'm like, bro, listen, I need that $5 back. I need that nickel, homie. We used to get fined for sitting in the training room too long. $10,000. If you came out there with white socks on, $10,000. He was the black sock politician.
That's accountability, and that's unnecessary. Golly. Did you like him as a coach, though? Like, outside of the fun?
When I was younger, I didn't understand him. I'm going to be real.
Yeah.
But as I got older,
right.
You know what I'm saying? When I moved on from Jacksonville and went to Tampa, I'm like, TC was right, bro.
Right.
He was right about a lot of that I couldn't see because I was young and immature.
Yeah.
But Coach TC, if you see this, bro, listen, I appreciate you, dog.
He's an OG to the game, man. Before he left the game, man, I think it was just him and Belichick, like the two older coaches, and that old philosophy, bro. That's insane, dog.
He ain't playing.
Damn, get on the scale right now.
But also, Tom Coughlin wasn't his coach. He was the executive vice president of football operations. Doug Marrone was the coach. But either way, Tom was obviously heavily involved.
Yeah.
He was dropping
and for the record, there was a fine system for being overweight every week. You got weight every week. If you were a pound over, back then it was like $1,000 or $1,200.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
It is, but you're supposed to be underweight. That's
just with Coughlin, you're saying.
With the Jags, yeah. I mean, Leon, go ask. Poor Leon would put a stationary bike in the sauna at full blast and have the sweatsuit thing on, bottom and top, just sweat.
Trying to get that pound.
Just trying to get it off. It'd be so funny watching him. But that was the deal, He had a certain weight, and if you were over the weight, they find you. And if not, you had nothing to worry about.
I mean, I guess in my mind, you should never show up to camp not in shape because you're right.
A pound over is not
out of shape,
right.
But it is. You have a weight limit, so just come in a pound earlier.
So when you leave OTAs and mandatory
the night before, I don't know
exactly. They tell you this is the weight you have to show up.
This is what a weight we want you at. Yes,
right. So then you have many weeks in order to enjoy yourself and then also get back on
into it. Yeah. It shouldn't be that. The white socks, I don't know if that's practice. Now, when we traveled, he didn't want you wearing white socks. He wanted you to wear dark socks that went with your shoes. A little did he know the real fashion is the socks supposed to match the pant, Coach. I'm just kidding. But I wore dark socks. Who cares?
Who was wearing white pants?
I'm only
just like blue with blue or gray with gray.
Right. You normally would wear that, but you're supposed to tighten your thing up. Well, I couldn't find one that fit 22 and a half inches, but I would cinch up my tie. I'd walk by him in the first class, cinch it down. He never checked me. It was like he walked back there and looked at you. So he had his rules. I don't know. I like what he said at the end. Because at first I was like, come on, man. Because here's the thing. I went back and I looked at that team. I looked at 2016, 17, 18, and 19. Who they had, where they were ranked. These guys were on their way to being true rock stars. I mean, that's what's a shame of it all. And if they didn't get so, and Jalen included, if they didn't get so into themselves and not the team first, like they would have gotten everything for themselves. They would have. If the team kept winning, which it should have. Now, granted, 2018, they had a lot of injuries on offense, which I forgot about. Defense was still phenomenal, ranked extremely high in the entire league. And then you let Calais gone after that, and then it just went south. I wonder, look, you look at Leonard Fournette, because before he said, hey, he's my dog, I'm like, man, what? I look back, his third year at the Jags was unbelievable. That was 2019. 2017, he was a rookie, had a great year. Great year, all right? 2018, he was hurt, didn't have the best year. 2019 probably had his best year. And then the next year, he got beat out by James Robinson.
Yeah.
A free agent rookie running back. And now, granted,
and
a new
released,
regime.
not traded.
It was a new regime, right? No, it was his third year. He was going into his fourth year. He got cut.
Right. Yeah.
And
like
you're sitting going, how does a guy like that get cut? Now, granted, he picked it up and went to Tampa and had a fine few years. Guy was great out of the backfield.
Super Bowl Lenny.
Great out of the backfield. He was. He was great. I mean, he caught a lot of balls out of the backfield. But, it was just interesting there. It's too bad because that group, Jalen, Telvin, I don't know what happened to Telvin, so I don't want to speak on that. Obviously, that's a damn shame because he was one of their best players of all time, I think. He was that. Fowler was really good. He got injured, but he had an attitude issue. You know what I mean? There's
AJ Boye, Miles Jack.
Yeah, Miles was little because I think Paz rubbed off on Miles a little bit. I was thinking too. I was like, I wonder how many times Paz got fined by Coughlin.
Probably zero.
Probably zero. Yeah. Right. So whatever. The fines are what they are. So back then, and I know back when we were playing, the only way to discipline somebody is what? Fine them or bench them. And you don't go to the owner saying, hey, I'm going to bench the 5th overall pick that I took in the draft. You're like, what are you talking about? Well, he's got an attitude problem. Well, you should have known that before you beeping drafted him. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about?
They also had Malik Jackson.
Yeah. What's that?
Malik Jackson.
Malik, yeah. That was in 2016.
Yeah.
He came in.
I love Malik. Marcel Darius came in.
2017, Darius.
They made the trade.
Yeah.
So the
Barry Church and Gibson, all of them were really good players.
Great players.
They all had. It was wild looking back at that year too, because outside of Calais Campbell, who's been able to do it forever, and probably Jalen, you'd put in that too. Most of those guys had their best career year in that 2017 season. When you go back and you look at what they did before and after 2017, not nearly. And that when I'm talking about Fowler, even Jan, we talk about Jan, and we know Jan's strengths and weaknesses, but it's wild to go back and go through that roster and then look at their next year or two and how drastically almost all of them fell off. So something was being done right when it comes to coaching and trying to reel in a lot of strong personalities. And I know that's not easy to do. We talk about having the alphas on teams, and every team does need a couple, because you need those guys that are out there and ready to kind of like fight for the team and be that dog. And I think that you had maybe too many of them at certain points in that, and you saw it unravel. I mean, the whole London thing, I remember all of that got crazy.
9 guys in jail, all types. And the Brinks truck. I mean, Liam wouldn't put up with that.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? If someone showed up with they wouldn't that wouldn't be acceptable. It's too, and that's the reason why I said it was too bad, because I think they could have been a dynasty type those years. They really could have, man. Now, I know Bortles to me was a gamer. He wasn't the greatest, but he was a gamer enough. Lenny was a really good running back. Their line was good. Their D-line, their defense, like they led the league in so many things. Like they had a chance to really go back to back to back. And maybe the Urban Meyer thing never even happens.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it didn't happen for whatever reason. I would have paid Jalen early, but I would have been pretty pissed with the Brinks truck.
Yeah, see,
I would have not accepted. I wouldn't have liked that at all. But
his
he
attitude
was that
all
good.
along was poor, and that's the part I think that they saw the writing on the wall fairly early on.
Well, people do. I don't know. Maybe you remember the Buffalo game. Remember, Marone tried to get him, and he kind of knocked him off. And then Leonard goes across the field for the fight. You're like, what do you guys? You're not like gangsters. Play football.
And then there was rumors that him and Marone got into it in their office, and then that kind of leaked. And then Tony Khan and Jan were getting into it over Twitter. They were fighting publicly on Twitter. It was just imploding at one point in time where, I don't think there was saving it at that point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, to your point, because if you could have carried on what they were doing in that 27,
Well, because think about what was right prior to that. You had a coach for 1 year.
Yeah.
And then you had Gus Bradley.
Gus, right.
So, like, you weren't doing great things prior to that. And then all
Right.
of a sudden, you promote the interim and Doug Marrone.
Yep.
And, it could have been something so special. And it was for one season.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's it. One season.
It just shows you did the talent, and then are they a team? You got to be a team guy.
Yeah.
You know, and what Leonard's saying is like, man, when I was younger, you're young. I get it. You're just that way, and then you look back, you're like, you know what?
Maybe I needed that.
I could award the black
Yeah,
sock.
I know. Was it that big of a deal? 1 pound. I could have lost my 1
Yeah,
pound.
could have
I
come in
needed.
at 229 or something. I don't know. You know.
I mean, the older you get, the losing the 1 pound does become more and more challenging.
Yeah, that's
when are we
true.
But
being weighed?
He was early,
No,
early
it's
20s.
not
Next Wednesday, we're being weighed, Taylor. Next Wednesday. All right.
We're whaling tonight is what we're doing.
Speaking of Tom Coughlin, he was one of the inductees last night into the Jacksonville Sports Hall of Fame.
Nice.
So congrats to
Well
TC.
deserved.
Congrats to Dee Brown, of course, a former J Hoop
Yeah.
star.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then winner of the
At
dunk
Celtics.
contest in
Yeah.
1991. Yep, with the Celtics. He also, at one point in time, taught me how to shoot a three-pointer.
Did he really?
He sure did. Dee Brown
He did the covering his eyes
the
dunk.
no-look dunk.
Yeah.
That's why I said he won the
dunk contest
in
doing it.
91.
Yeah, man.
And then Dottie Dorian was one of the inductees.
Okay.
Phenomenal marathoner back when women weren't doing that, and triathlon. She's a triathloner. She's a triathlete. That's the right word. She's also a really good artist as well. And she's, I want to say, like 91 at this point in time.
So
and then
cool.
also Jumbo Shrimp mascot Scampy.
Oh, we love Scampy.
Very nice.
Sure. I don't know that
Way to go,
Scampy has
Scampy.
quite the resume as the
That's all right.
two-time.
We'll let
Scampy
him go
works
first.
hard.
Oh, sure.
You get a minute and a half, Scamp. Give your thing. And then get off.
Actually, Scampy, you don't even get a speech because
Oh,
you're
you
a
don't-
mascot. So
That's right. You
It
can't
doesn't-
talk.
It just does some hand gestures and moves on.
in and out. All right, Tom's
Let's
take
take
on the
off.
other side. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, 1010 XL 92.5 FM.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care. Official dental partner of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein and Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
You know Zero Res, the zero residue carpet cleaner that leaves your carpets truly clean with no dirt attracting soaps or harsh chemicals. Don't risk it with the other guys. Skip the disasters that leave your carpets soaked for days and do more harm than good. Keep the mud outside where it belongs, not trapped in your carpets. This month, get 3 rooms of Carpet Zero Resified, starting at just $129. Call 287-5727 or visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and ask for the 1010XL special.
Birthdays, anniversaries, and graduations happen year-round. That's why it's good to have Kuhn Flowers on hand to send that floral arrangement. With a simple click, call, or showroom visit. This is E.T. Make Kuhn Flowers your go-to when you need to send love.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web. Precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, what's the matter? I came right over.
It's my water, Jason. Smell this.
Yeesh.
That came out of my tab, Jason. I'm worried there's a lot more in there than just H and 2 and O.
Well, yeah. In Jacksonville, we have some of the hardest water in Florida. There's calcium carbonate in there and magnesium sulfate and...
I'm sorry, calcium... What now?
It's the same stuff that makes those cool stalactites in caves.
Well, it's making my shower all powdery, my tabs all crusty, and caves make me claustrophobic.
Put on these sunglasses. Call Bueller Air Plumbing, and our water treatment experts will do a free water quality test. We'll check for minerals, bacteria, anything that might make your water smelly or damage your plumbing or appliances.
And if it's bad, you can fix it?
Your glasses will come out cleaner, your shampoo will lather better.
I like a good lather, Jason.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hey, this is Tony from Tony D's New York Pizza. You believe I've been making pizza here in Jacksonville for over 20 years? Thanks for the support and good times. We appreciate your business, and we're looking forward to another 20 years. Come out and see us at Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
If you're feeling low, then give it a go.
You know when you're doing a song about a small town,
Try Lambert's Sniffing Salts today.
you get to start it with a cliche, you know what I'm saying? Like, time moves a little slower here. The pain feels cause the summer's here, it's so severe.
All right, Jared, what's song number 2 that you have for us today?
This would be 1955 by the Hilltop Hoods featuring Montaigne.
All right. And so people understand your background. You came most recently from Vegas, but before that, you are from?
Born in Nashville, lived in Denver, Montreal, New York. Gosh, where else have I? I've lived basically all throughout the country for like 18 months at a time.
Okay. What's your favorite city that you've ever been to?
I mean, my whole family's from Kansas City.
Okay.
So.
Are you in like witness protection? 18 months. What do you?
You can't answer that if the answer is yes. You can't put him on the spot like that.
He's like, oh no, now I have to move again.
Exactly.
Damn it, Tom.
Well, I was only in Jacksonville for 2 months for crying out loud. So yeah, we're having fun with music this week. Tom's music tomorrow, Jared's music today, and time now for Tom's Take.
Now, Tommy's Takes. Protected by Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com, or dial pound law. That's all.
All right, my take today on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon, brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. We spoke about this a couple weeks ago, but it's coming to the forefront once again. Speaking of Kansas, in Kansas City, the Chiefs unveiled their first renderings for their new stadium, scheduled to open in 2031. It will feature a fully enclosed dome with a ceiling of translucent ethylene, some long word panels, tetrafluoroethylene panels.
Basically,
like
I think that just means you can see the sky.
Yeah. I tell you, the domes, I don't know. I feel for your fans. I know, I don't want, you're going to freeze your butt off, sitting outside, but the elements are part of the game, I mean, I don't mind. Listen, the Jags are going to have some kind of a covering, but it won't be a dome. Right. So you'll still have some of those elements that you'll have to deal with. So that's cool. But, man, the dome, I don't know. Kansas City, the Chiefs. I mean, what, you're going to put a dome on Lambeau? Then the world's ending. You put a dome on Lambeau. You know what I mean? Like that's
most college football stadiums don't have domes.
No, I know.
I feel like when you watch them on TV, it pulls you in way more when it's an outdoors game than a dome game.
And then what about the dome? Can you do natural grass, or is that out? I guess you can if the panels, because you can get the sun.
The sunshine still can
but
get
if
through,
you
which
don't,
most are that now, but in some form.
We see outdoor stadiums that choose turf, like the Meadowlands.
Yeah, true.
And that's why everybody with the World Cup
starting fighting.
We're like, come on, man.
Forget
why on earth can they get grass and us NFL players cannot? That makes absolutely no sense. So I hope they keep the grass for their sake.
No doubt.
Yeah, I've never been the biggest indoor dome person. I don't mind retractables if you're talking about that, which I know they're even way more expensive to do, which is why a lot of teams don't do them. But
you're already spending a couple billion.
I've seen the numbers and they do say it's a lot more to make it actual retractable, but I've been to ones I went to the Diamondbacks have a retractable, and it's so nice because you go to, and it was at first not really hot. It was an earlier game, so you're good. And then as it started hitting 110, they closed the retractables and you're good. And then by the end of the game, they open them back up. That I like because you're not, if it's just getting to the point where it's too much torrential downpour or a full-on blizzard or it is 115 outside, then you can. But you do want some of the natural elements. And some of my favorite and most memorable games are the weather was a part of it. And at the time, maybe you're like, this sucks. I'm sweating or I'm freezing. But that's the most memorable moments and later in life when you're talking about certain sporting events.
The games where it's so bad, like freezing cold, like it had what happened, Kansas City and Buffalo, or who was that?
It was Buffalo, Denver.
And Denver. And it was like negative, like that. I get that. Like, you can't play in that. That's so hard to play in.
But they did.
No, they did. Yeah, you just have to.
It just wasn't a great product for most people to watch, but some people like it, and that's perfectly fine. By the way, the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures wants to know, where do the fines go? The fines for
normally they go to the foundation of the team, and then they dole it out to different foundations, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
different
all
charities.
Same
all charity.
Same when the NFL fines players on the field, it also is going to eventually go to charities.
Yeah, it goes to charitable
It doesn't
causes.
go to
I have seen it goes to like a lot of youth football and a lot of former player assistance programs. The money will go to.
Tom's like, I'm not seeing that.
Well, you know what? Then we should, LZ's shot here. We give him credit, man. He's giving back to the kids.
To the community.
Giving back to the kids. It's fines, man. Let's go.
The kids.
Oh, yeah. I'm doing it for the kids. I didn't mean to hit him in the head.
Honestly, you should start saying that.
Yeah, exactly. What are you mad at me for? I'm taking care of all these kids in the community.
Do you know how many programs
Get
I've
them
helped in the Houston area?
You know how many cleats I've bought with these fines? Come on. Talking about.
I do feel like, to your point earlier, as far as the players when they're younger, they may not appreciate it. I think most people, when they look back, like the hardest coach that you had ended up being one of your favorite ones because that's how you grew the most and learned the most. And
or teachers too, I feel like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anybody in your life that's very authoritarian, in the moment you hate it. And then later you're like, okay, I understand why.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, you know the story up in New York, right? Like, the players were not liking him at all. And his family, Coach Coughlin's family, is like, show him what you show us. Like, show him. Like, you're not showing him you. And then he changed a little bit without changing his principles of accountability.
Right. Yeah.
He just, and it was funny. I would see him. I'm like, you get so soft. And I just joke about it. He just look at me and laugh. But, you have to in these times. And look, you look, again, fast forward to Liam Cohen. He's got those old school principles and mentality. His delivery's just different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just a little and not in a bad, it's just a modern way, if you will. It's okay. Again, when we got yelled at, it made you mad. It made you want to go out there and prove them wrong. It didn't make you so upset that you couldn't.
You want to quit.
Yeah, like, I'm done. I got to go home. I got to go get out of here and take a.
I'm going to transfer school.
Oh, you said I played bad. Oh, yeah. Okay, fine. I'm going to show you that I'm not going to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you got to have those kind of guys in the room. They have it in the room today. I believe that 100%. And the delivery's just different. And it's a cool delivery. But at the end of the day, we've seen it. He's not going to accept mediocrity, Liam Cohen. He's just not.
Yeah.
And the great coaches, it's all about accountability. It's not rocket science, That tough love we talk about all the time. Show the love, and you have the toughness. It goes perfectly
Especially not
together,
in
man.
season. It's easier to show the love when you're not in season, right?
Yeah.
When you're going through the off-season workouts and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Tom, more to do on the other side. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Hi, I'm Mike Detke. I'm Jeremy Mincy. I'm Amani Toomer. You're listening to 1010XL. 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 92.5 FM.
Frank Frangie here for my friends at Coyle Fencing. You've heard me talk about our Bregan baseball complex with walk-off charities and we needed a batter's eye. Nobody knew how to do it. Coyle figured it out, and it is great. Since then, Coyle & Sons has completed hundreds of projects, including most recently our football fields at Fort Family Park. The bottom line is they do everything. They do it well. It looks great. I trust Coyle & Sons. You can too. Since 1927, they've been getting it right. CoyleJacks.com. C-O-Y-L-E Jacks.com. That's where you find them. A proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Lauren Brooks here. If you're like most of us at 1010XL, you have a list of things you want to get done around your house before football season begins. So do yourself a favor and make an appointment today to check out Closets by Design's new showroom on Phillips Highway, especially the incredible garage. Closets by Design can help turn any garage into a custom organized space designed around your lifestyle and your budget. Call 904-878-9393 to schedule your free in-home design consultation and get 40% off, plus an additional 15% off and free installation. Or you can find them online, closetsbydesign.com.
It feels like every home services company in Jacksonville has been bought out by some big out-of-town firm, but not Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. We're still locally owned, still right here in Northeast Florida. That means no call centers and no corporate runaround when you call Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Just experienced pros who live here, work here, and stand behind every job. From simple leaks to full pipe relining, you're getting real solutions from a team that actually cares about the community we all live and work in. Make the superior choice when you need a plumber. Request an estimate at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call now for your free evaluation and see if multi-unit hair grafting or PRP can restore your hair. Call 904-777-IHRS.
My bald spots are gone. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS is the only clinic in the Southeast to offer all proven solutions to restore your hair and is now offering multi-unit hair grafting. One procedure, more hair.
You've got nothing to lose but more hair. I feel younger, I look younger, and who doesn't want to feel better about themselves?
This year, grow your hair back. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-4477.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
All right, Jared, what's up next?
This is Poor Decisions by the Real McKenzies. Poor is spelled P-O-U-R.
Oh, I like
Pour
it. I love
pour
when,
me a drink.
whether it's the name of songs or the lyrics of songs and they have that double entendre. I'm always about that. I like when you have to think just a little bit.
Double entendre?
Yeah, double entendre.
What's a double
I guess
You said it in
entendre.
like French.
Yeah. I think that's how I might have said
No,
it.
I don't
originally.
think so.
So, double entendre.
What is an entendre?
A double entendre is like
Double.
basically so poor decisions. You'd think it would be P-O-O-R decisions, like you've made some poor
That's poor
decisions.
decisions. Oh, right.
But
Poor.
Oh.
decisions means now we're talking about drinking, and
Right.
so now it's a double entendre.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Play on words, if you will.
Exactly. That's
It's just the
good
French way
to
of saying play on words.
say it. Sure. I'm just gonna start working random
I
words
love
into
it.
our show.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll be appropriate. Maybe they won't be. I'll
Just
just
like
have
it.
Tommy repeat them every time.
I like that. I like that
there
a
you
lot.
go.
And
Good
spell it.
strategy.
And
How do you
spell it.
spell it?
That part is hard. All right, let's swerve into Lauren's lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
Okay, so the actual definition of double entendre is a phrase or a figure of speech designed to have two meanings. One is innocent, straightforward, and literal. The other is usually risque, taboo, or suggestive.
Okay.
So that one
That's
wasn't
French.
exactly taboo, but
Yeah.
definitely the poor decision part leads you to
Risque.
believe. Yeah, exactly. All right, Todd, the first thing in Lauren's lane today, I am following along with the U.S. Junior Amateur, the golf tournament. And our guy Miles Russell right now is competing, as well as our guy Tyler Mahoney. And Russell, it looks like he is up one shot, it says 6-5, so I'm going to guess that he's up by one over Eli Wessel. And this is, by the way, is the round of 64, and this is match play. I think match play in golf is really exciting because you're literally just going head to head.
Yeah.
Best man wins.
Yep.
And then Tyler from Fleming Island is tied through 9 with a guy named Rollin Sutter. And by the way, as soon as I saw his name, Rollin Sutter, I was like,
how do you spell that? R-A-W?
L-I-N.
Okay.
Yep, Rollin,
Okay.
and then Sutter. And it immediately made me think we should do another rendition of NASCAR driver or country singer.
Oh, yeah,
We're not
that'd
good
be
at
a
that.
good one. Yeah.
But it's so much fun.
Rollin'.
Or I could do golfer versus country singer, golfer versus
race
NASCAR
car.
driver.
Yeah,
there's
sure.
so many options.
For
at this
those of
point in
you that
time.
missed it, including Jared, we did a segment back before the Daytona 500, and Lauren did, is it a NASCAR driver name or is it a country singer name? And Tommy and I got most of them wrong.
Yes.
But we also, the guy that ended up, already forget his name, he won like 3 NASCAR
He
races
did.
after that. We guessed as a
Tyler-
country singer. So
Tyler Reddick, I want to say was his
Yeah,
name.
Reddick. Good call.
He kept winning after
I
that.
memorized
and I was
JJ
like,
Reddick, and then I was like, just change out the first
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
Reddick.
it was actually a lot of fun. Now, granted, Jared, it's not like I was picking like Luke Bryan and Tim McGraw as the names of the country singers. They were all country singers that are up and coming.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the two things that two first names. It's just like, yep, that tracks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
And you were born in Nashville, so you understand about those country singers.
Yeah, I was 18 months.
So
from
tomorrow
the
is the
law.
round, assuming that the guys both advance. Tomorrow's the round of 32 and the round of 16 match play. So they do 2 rounds tomorrow. Friday will be the quarterfinals and the semifinals, all match play. And then Saturday will be the 36-hole championship final. So that'll be between just 2 golfers and also a match play
Okay.
format. So
Wow.
super exciting there. And then one Major League Baseball note I wanted to mention, and I sent this to you guys earlier, Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
I know you had already seen it.
Yeah, not
But
good.
Joshua Kuroda Grauer. He was at bat yesterday and accidentally the ball hit off tip of the bat, hit him where the sun don't shine. He immediately dropped, but then got up and hit a single and then ended up not playing the rest of the game, was replaced. But as it turns out, had to have surgery for a ruptured.
No, nut.
Yeah, there you have it. Yeah. Yep.
You know-
It looked, I
So
mean,
he actually
that thing
stood up and-
ricocheted hard
Yeah.
off of the bat. At first.
Yeah.
I was
He
like,
actually got a hit with a ruptured,
True
you know what?
story.
no.
Virgil Livers, who was a corner for the Bears, lived on the street over from us. He got stepped on and lost one.
oh my
yeah,
goodness.
in a game on TV. I remember I was like
Wow.
10 years old. Yeah. Yeah. And then who was the guy? Oh, well, he had it surgically removed, but he was remember Alex Singleton from the Broncos? All his teammates were calling him one.
Yeah. That was his nickname.
They
forever.
can joke about
I'm
it. I
hoping for
guess.
Joshua that they were able to repair it and he didn't
Not have
lose
to-
it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping based off. But again, I wasn't about to read more into it. I just had to mention it because he actually got a hit with
With that happening.
situation.
You
Yeah.
mean after the fact, he still got
Yeah,
it?
yes.
Like,
after
he got his
got
pace.
hit.
He went down.
Yeah.
Then
and then
stood
in
back
extreme
up.
pain, then stood up, then got a single, hit a single, got to first base, and then was like, "Please get me out of here."
Something happened.
Something's
This isn't
wrong.
has
good.
gone horribly
Something's
wrong.
burning and it hurts really bad.
And then I'm going to run through the top 10 when it comes to Major League Baseball power rankings. We won't delve into it, but number 1 would be the Milwaukee Brewers. Sorry, Taylor. Number 2, the Dodgers. 3, the Braves. That means they've picked up their pace a little bit. 4, the Rays. 5, the Yankees. 6, the Cubs. Phillies are in 7. 8 would be the White Sox. 9, the Guardians. And to round out the top 10, the Boston Red Sox,
Red
who a
Sox,
week
yeah.
ago were 18th, but they've climbed up 8 spots thanks to that
14
4-game
straight
sweep.
games.
Yeah,
14
no, wow.
straight
Yeah.
wins, but
This
also the
season's
4
been weird
overs.
like that.
Yeah.
Is it
There's
always
a lot
like
of
that?
streakies. No, there's been a lot of streaks this
Okay.
year. That doesn't usually happen
Okay.
like that. Like the Cubs have 2 10-game win
Yeah,
streaks,
right,
a 10-game lose streak.
Right.
The
Yeah.
Red Sox have that. Like every team, I feel like, has been kind of had these. The Braves started super hot, then had their lull for a while. And so it's been a very streaky season this year.
That it has. But yeah, when it comes to the Rays, that American League East is no joke. The top 3 teams are over 500. The Orioles are 49 and 52, and the Blue Jays are 46 and 55. So at least hovering around 500. Those bottom two teams, Rays, Yankees, and Red Sox, all like I said, above 500. But when it comes to
four of the teams in the NL Central are above 500. They just keep going too.
Yeah, but the Dodgers
and then
are
there's the Reds.
4 and 6 out of their last 10. So the Dodgers have hit a little bit of a skid. The Marlins 2 and 8 out of their last 10. So they were playing really well. Not as of late, but it'll be fun to
Ohtani's been
follow
hurt, so that you see how drastically that immediately affects the Dodgers.
Yeah, dealing with a knee injury. All right, Taylor's Tangent on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
From the edge of your radio to the edge of your seat. Showtime! Feel the excitement of live play-by-play.
And this place is rocking right now.
On 1010XL.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Here's some advice I've learned over the years. The best time to fix something around your house is before it forces you to. Don't wait until your plumbing fails, your septic system backs up, or your AC quits on the hottest weekend of the summer. This month, Duck is making it easier to stay ahead of the problem. Save $250 on a whole home repipe or redrain, $50 on any septic service, and $500 on a new AC system. When you're stuck, call Duck Rooter, 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Take a radio boat ride with Captain Cabin on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Reeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services and awaken 180 weight loss.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
The World Poker Tour is coming back to Best Bet Jacksonville from August 20th to September 9th.
From the ladies and the seniors 50-plus event to mystery bounties, Best Bet live feature tables, and over $1.5 million in guarantees. The WPT Best Bet Scramble is going to be full of poker action and excitement.
Mark your calendars and get ready for the World Poker Tour at Best Bet Jacksonville. See all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
When you head out for a night with friends or going to the big game, don't forget the best game plan to win the night is to designate a driver and guarantee a safe ride home. Hydrating between buds is the best play you can make. Bud Light, reminding all to drink wiser.
Want to stretch that dollar? Taylor Doll here to help save you money with the Money Pages magazine and app. Trying to figure out dinner? Money Pages has deals at your favorite local restaurants. Need auto repairs or an oil change? Money Pages has coupons to help you save. Looking to do some home improvement projects? Money Pages has deals on everything home, from AC repair and plumbing to flooring and painting. Check your mailbox for Money Pages today and download the app for savings on the go.
Looking for an exciting, fun-filled evening the whole group can enjoy? Then don't miss the final home game of the season, and it's a big one. It's Military Appreciation Night with the Jacksonville Sharks, sponsored by True Vet Solutions. Sunday, July 26th, kickoff 7:30. Tickets start at just $15. Get out of the heat and into the arena as the Sharks battle the first-place Green Bay Blizzard. Active military and veterans get special buy one, get one free tickets. Bring in the whole crew. Try our family 4-pack. 4 tickets, $50 in food or merchandise vouchers, all for $100. Don't miss the powerful military swear-in ceremony at halftime. And join us on the field after the game for a free autograph session sponsored by Flight Adventure Park. To purchase tickets or for more information, go to JacksonvilleSharks.com or call 904-621-0700. 621-0700. Sharks football, where memories are made.
Go Sharks! Southwest Greens is the OG of artificial turf in North Florida. Stop mowing and start chipping or putting or just relaxing with a beautiful backyard, maintenance free. Log on to southwestgreensofjacksonville.com to see what they can do to your backyard.
Yeah, I know how awful it is to get injured, but not like my friend Tom who got rear-ended last year. Tom McManus here. Morgan & Morgan can help you. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. 1,000 lawyers, 100 offices across the nation, and over $30 billion recovered. And guess what? They don't get a single penny unless you do. A proven track record with backup. Hard to find these days, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. Get injured due to someone's neglect, get paid. Dial Pound Law or check out forthepeople.com.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. The Orlando Magic have released their entire 2026 preseason schedule. They will begin play on October 7th at Memphis. Tip-off will be at 8 p.m. Single game tickets for the 2026 preseason are on sale now. Fans can log on to orlandomagic.com or call 407-89-MAGIC. Right now, 94 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Aaron Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Yeah, I'm not angry, and no, I'm not upset. It's taken me a while, but this is what I've learned.
Taylor Bell, Tom McManus. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Jared Justice filling in for RJ Saunders, who you just heard on the update. Jared Justice, what is this?
This is Apathetic Way to Be by Reliant K.
Would you use this song to describe your personality? No response.
yes.
I'm going to go with that means you're apathetic. By the way, just learned something thanks to the text on Designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Always learning something when it comes to golf. 904-641-1010. Miles Russell, when it said 6 and 5, I thought that meant he was up 1. That is not what that meant. It means he's 6 up with 5 holes left to play, which means he won the match.
All
So
right.
way to go, Miles.
Way to go.
That means he will advance. And again, Tyler Mawiney from Fleming Island is tied through 9. So we'll certainly keep an eye on that. Now let's get back to football with Taylor's Tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
I tried to
It
trick
is about
Jared.
football. Okay, so we had the conversation yesterday about the linebackers, and we were, Tommy, you had some in your, you had some numbers that you brought between when it was Foye Oluokun last year, what Devin Lloyd did when it came to the coverage grades for those linebackers, because that's going to be part of the conversation this year. And now that Devin Lloyd is out the door, we've had a lot of conversations of it looks like Ventrell Miller at this point, but we've heard a lot of Branson Combs, and we'll see what it looks like in camp when we're seeing some of these rotations and what the linebackers look like. But Devin Lloyd did a lot of really good things last year, and I think that we saw that on the, just when you talk about the eye test, and we all, by the end of the year, there was reason he was getting a lot of the love he was, and there was a reason that now this offseason, a lot of people have had the conversation that they don't feel like the Jags improved because they lost Devin Lloyd and Etienne and don't feel like those had been fully replaced at this point in time. Now, these young guys could step up and quickly that conversation changes, but that's just what's on paper at this point and what we know. So I wanted to look a little bit more into some of the numbers, just specifically when it comes to the AFC South and the linebackers there, because those are the linebackers we hear and talk about a lot. And, you know, you see each of them 2 times a year. And so I think for that, you're a little bit more familiar with some of these names than you will others. And so I wanted to look at some of that and just compare that to what Devin Lloyd did and then Foye Oluokun, and we'll look at Ventrell Miller and maybe some of the other Jags linebackers that got on the field. But an interesting note when it comes to just the AFC South as a whole is we know here, obviously looking for that replacement for Devin Lloyd. But outside of that, the Titans drafted Anthony Hill. He is expected to start at this point in time. And then the Colts have 2 new linebackers, the Akeem Davis-Gaither. Yep. They went and got from Arizona, and then they drafted C.J. Allen. So both their linebackers will be new. The Titans got Anthony Hill, which is expected to be that replacement, and the Texans are returning with both their same linebackers, obviously.
Yeah, and didn't Indy grab the kid from, they let Bork, he's from Oregon? You know what I'm talking about?
They drafted one too.
They like him as well.
Betcher.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
And that's what at this point in time, this is just by depth charts, so this could change throughout camp. I'm sure there's going to be some other. The Colts linebacking group was not very good last year, actually, and so that's some of the things we'll actually see in this. But they break it down, and you went through some PFF numbers yesterday, and I know PFF is people criticize certain things from it, and I get it. There's some charts sometimes that I see, and I'm like, there's no way by watching the game that you felt like that was actually how that player performed or or how someone didn't perform, whatever it may be. But for the linebackers, they do break it down. They do the total defensive grade. They do their run defense, their tackle grade, their pass rush grade, and their coverage grade. So when you look at those, in the AFC South last year, Devin Lloyd was the best overall defensive grade in the AFC South with the 87.9. The next closest to that was Tennessee's Cedric Gray, who had a 78.9. And then I'm not including the players right now that only had because there's some that have 3 snaps, 9 snaps. I'm going with the guys. Even Ventrell had 200, and that was very limited compared to a lot of the linebackers. But just the higher, I'll say 200 and more because I want to include Ventrell in these. But Cedric Gray behind that. Aziz Al-Shaair was a 75.9 total defense. Foye was a 74.3, and then Ventrell was a 72.6 total. So he was the sixth best linebacker in total defense. Granted, like I said, that was 220 snaps compared to 900 and 1,000 snaps at certain points in time. So that was some of the interesting when it looks at the total defense. But then when you go through, and this is what I think we want to look at, because the conversation we've had a lot lately is we know that Ventrell is really good against the run, and that's something that has kind of upped his linebacking grade, and you can see that in this. For example, Cedric Gray with a 92.7 had the best run defensive grade last year for Tennessee. Devin Lloyd was second with an 85.2, and then Miller was third with an 82.8. So in the entire AFC South, he had the third best run defense grade, and then Aziz Al-Shaair was just behind that, and Jack Kaiser actually was just behind that. Limited snaps. Again, Jack Kaiser only had 43 total snaps at that linebacker position last year. But then when you break it down to, because what we've been having even more in depth is the coverage and what those coverage grades, if you have a linebacker on this roster can replace what Devin Lloyd did in the blitz and being able to get to the quarterback a little bit in the coverage. And those are two things that I'm not totally sure we do have on this roster, but you're hoping that some of those things can be developed. The best coverage grade in the AFC South last year was Foye Oluokun at a 78.3, and then Devin Lloyd at a 78.1. Behind that was Aziz Al-Shaair with the 69, and then there's a bunch of guys that didn't play a ton of snaps, and then you get down to a Cedric Gray again, who's in the high 50s, and that's where Branson Cones and Ventrell Miller come in, both with a 59 and a 58.4 coverage grade. So that's where you see that drop off. Now you can make up for that with what he does in run defense, what he does in tackling, or two of the high Ventrell and Branson have very high grades on that. And there's more to this. Like I said, this is just PFF grades. You're watching the game, you're seeing other things at times. So it's not just, this isn't the Bible of everything that is going to be linebackers in the AFC South, but that is, to me, something that I think we do need to focus on a little bit and kind of pay attention to. One of the interesting things for me in camp are going to be what that linebacker dynamic looks like and who is looking better in the coverage area of play.
Yeah, well, coverage and rushing.
Rushing, yeah.
Right, because Devin was used a lot rushing the passer quite a bit.
So he had the highest grade of that. I did do the pass rush one too. So the pass rush grade, Devin Lloyd was the highest with the 81.8. Henry from
the Texans
had an 80.6. He was the second, and then Ventrell Miller was third with a 73.7. So he was still up there in the pass rush grade. It was just that coverage grade that he struggled with.
Do the stats include Zaire Franklin from last year? Because he's no longer on there. Obviously now with the Packers.
Let me see if he's still on here.
He had a good year.
No one really, I feel like, around here is thinking about the Colts linebacking core, but
so he was.
Okay, so you'd think though that they have to try and I understand they drafted CJ Allen, but you're going to replace Zaire Franklin with a rookie in CJ Allen?
Well,
so he was the third
back,
worst, the third worst PFF grade in the AFC South last year, Zaire Franklin. He total defense grade, he was not good. And I remember talking to Trent, who works in the media team with us, and he's a Colts fan, and he complained about Zaire a lot last year, being a liability and kind of taking a step back, and all the grades kind of relate to that. He did not have a good year at all last year.
Yeah.
But he's been one of the better linebackers.
He has, yeah. I mean, because years prior he was one of the top, I would say, in the division anyway. But
and then, like
year,
you said, no DeForest Buckner in front of you. That's certainly gonna.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be big for them. I mean, getting him back in the middle of that defense, healthy, if he can stay healthy, that'll do wonders for the Colts D.
Yeah, I think that's one of the areas where Anthony Campanile, if I'm him, you feel like you're like Mr. Burns on The Simpsons. Like, there's so many different things you can do, right? Like, we talk about the edge rushers like that as well. Like, after Trayvon and Josh Hines-Allen, look at all those different bodies that they have and guys that can do different things. I feel like with the linebackers, he can mix up a lot there, too. It doesn't have to be that Ventrell is the one who's replacing Devin Lloyd.
Yeah. The key, like we all know, is do you have the defensive tackles in front of them to let them play linebacker?
Yeah.
They do when they're healthy, obviously. So Eric being healthy will be huge. But even the guys that, they brought in, Ruke and the Regis, the young kid from Texas A&M. Yeah, I almost said Oklahoma, but Texas A&M. So, if you got that, I'm not really worried about to be honest with you, I'm not worried about the linebackers per se, because I do feel like Gardeck can make up for the rush and the other guys will figure out the run and the pass. And that makes up for one guy. I know it's two guys, but you're going to utilize them anyway, so who cares? But I'm not really worried about. I'm more worried about up front. I'm more worried about who can stay healthy. Are these two new additions going to be enough beef to continue to stop the run, but yet pressure the QB, collapse the pocket, get inside pressure? I know they could do it with a healthy Eric, but they need more than just Eric. Mm-hmm. Can these edge guys play inside on nickel downs? Can Gardeck be that outside rusher on nickel? Can he be? And you slide Trayvon down, maybe. Those are things we gotta see and figure out. But
Gardeck had one of the best stats when it comes to
win ratio, or whatever,
pass rush win rate
with limited amounts of times. Correct. Right? You just think that's gonna. You take that and then we'll give him more and he'll do more.
Yeah. And maybe because he was hurt when he got here with the ACL injury.
It took a minute.
It just took a while, but you'd think by the end of the season, Camp would have deployed him more.
But if you don't have the beef up front,
right,
it's going to be. But they do. Yeah. So they just got to stay healthy and, they got to make sure that whoever they have there's like 8 guys to fill 2 positions. Like one of those positions, just quality D linemen. Mm-hmm. Inside, outside, stop the run, rush. You got about 8-10 guys that you're looking to fill those 2 roles.
Yeah, you have to wonder, because Matt Dickerson started to kind of start last year. Yeah. Does he also get more playing time? Is he one of the almost forgotten defensive tackles on this roster?
They redid him extended him. Yeah. I think they like him enough to. He's their kind of guy. Physical, going to be tough. Give it all he's got. Yeah. Does he have enough inside to make a difference? He made plays last year late. You heard his name. You heard his name being called. Mm-hmm. So he was around the ball.
Yeah. But once the pads go on, I feel like running back, linebacker, media is going to be, focusing, and the fans that are there as well, focusing a ton of attention on those 2 position groups because of what they lost, but also how did they replace that. Yeah. I do feel like if the Jags had only lost Etienne or Lloyd, then the conversation wouldn't be as much nationally about everything that they lost. It would be more about
because you would have said it. They were able to keep Buster and Etienne and only had to lose Devin Lloyd, rather than being like they only kept the corner and they lost 2 of the better players on the team last year.
Right.
Yeah. No, so it had just been one or the other.
Yeah.
I'm wondering. I mean, camp's a week away. They're not going to bang right away, but if I'm Liam, I'm probably a little more physical this camp, just a little bit, without hurting anybody. Because you got to find out who the guys are, and you can't.
They're definitely going to be more physical when it comes to 3 joint practices.
Absolutely,
there's no question.
So let's get ready for that.
Right. So I mean? But a week
and with
from
who
today,
those practices are against adds a little oomph to it too.
Oh yeah. It'll be
a week
fun.
from today, we'll be out there. That's for sure. All right, let's give away some lunch.
Let's do it. We have free lunch to Chick-fil-A. Free lunch for 2 to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 5, you get free lunch. Make sure you grab that peach milkshake too. Summer's winding down, and it's only here for the summertime. So made with the real peaches and that ice cream dessert at Chick-fil-A. It goes perfect with the chicken sandwich or chicken nuggets that you can get for free if you call us right now.
All right, more to do on the other side, including more SEC Media Days and some NFL. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Every day.
All right, I want a 32 belly option on 2-on-2. Ready?
Every play.
On 1, on 2. Let's do it!
1010XL. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL. Installed by Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
The Florida Gators in 2026 have a lot to prove on the gridiron. Under first-year head coach John Summerall, USA Today's preseason poll has the Gators finishing 9th in the Southeastern Conference, a far cry from championship seasons of old. Texas tabbed as the SEC favorite, with Georgia a close second, followed by LSU, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M to round out the top 5. Florida also without a player on the preseason All-SEC team.
If you're getting estimates for replacement windows, do yourself a favor. Get one more. Prosser here. I did, and I was blown away. Cash Building Materials' local team is so experienced, and they know exactly what works for Jacksonville homes at a surprising price. You owe it to yourself to see what they can do before making a decision. Before you buy windows or doors, get a cash quote Search Cash Building Material. Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Listen to whatever you like, whenever you want.
I like this.
1010XL on demand. Ad-free shows after the live shows end. Channeled by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Search where you find podcasts.
There's only one sport with games to bet every day the rest of the summer. And there's only one legal app to bet it. Bet baseball on Hard Rock Bet, your home to bet home runs, strikeouts, even the next at-bat. It's secure and regulated, so your money is safe. Step up to the plate with towering parlays that can turn a dollar bet into a max payout up to $2 million.
It's out of here.
Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Longer days, warmer nights, and a backyard that brings everyone together. Spring and summer in Florida means pool days, backyard barbecues, and night swims under the stars. Pick it here. For nearly 50 years, Surfside Pools have been creating the backdrops for life's best memories. From weekly service and repairs to remodels, commercial maintenance, and new pool construction, Surfside does it all. Ready to float happy? SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools. Summer starts here. License number CPC 044080.
I'm Alan Tyre with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners Bill Pappas and Kim Rimley want to thank all of our clients, CPAs, attorneys, bankers, and real estate agents who refer us business every day. If you're ready to purchase, build, or refinance your home, call Trustline Mortgage, your hometown mortgage source since 1989. Call us today at 904-381-LOAN, TrustlineMortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Trustline Mortgage, NMLS 331480. Alan Tyre, NMLS 246490. Bill Pappas, NMLS 218443. Ken Remley, NMLS 246445.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Gators, Bulldogs, and every SEC team.
From Tampa, it's Cash Building Material SEC Media Days.
Kept sparkling by Underwood Jewelers and Lucas Trees.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
That's right, SC Media Days down in Tampa all week. Jared, this is Kansas.
Yes.
You live, and you lived in Kansas, so I'm guessing that's the tie-in there?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Totally focused on the song right now.
You know who this, every time I hear this song, I think of? Do you remember the running back for the Lions for a little while, Kerryon Johnson?
Yes.
Yeah, so I remember because that was like the thing, because they'd be like, they'd play this for him. And then a lot of fantasy teams that year had like something.
Carry On My Wayward Son is their
something
names.
with him. And so every time I hear this song now, I think of Kerryon Johnson. I was like, he hasn't even played since 2021. And I still think of you, Kerryon. So
it makes sense. I like that, though. I like how we did, for Jaden Bob, Bought It a Bob by Kid Rock.
Yeah.
I was going to say yesterday during crosstalk, like, Frank asked Jaden Ball if he's ever heard that song. And then I was like, wait, that song is from the 1990s. He probably has not heard that song.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe you should have played
oldie
it
but
for
goodie.
him. Be like, let me play you.
Yeah.
Right. Let me
It's Kid Rock.
introduce you to a song. And he might know who Kid Rock is, but that song may be a little bit older.
Right.
But yeah, I love that song by Kansas. All right. One of the quotes coming out of Tampa, John Summerall, the Florida head coach, on the conference landscape. There is a clear delineation. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I think there's clearly the power too. I'm not knocking any league. Well, yeah, you kind of
Yeah,
are
a little
knocking
bit.
the ACC and the Big 12, but I understand his mindset at this point in time. How many teams from outside of the SEC and the Big 10 have won a national championship as of late?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't come up with one.
Right.
So I do understand that. I guess Florida State might have been the last one in 2014, somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
Okay.
But
you had the little
not a
stretch
lot.
of Florida State, Clemson.
Mm-hmm. At Clemson for a little bit.
Yeah, the
Yep.
ACC was in there for a while.
Yeah.
It hasn't been, obviously, the ACC made it to the national
Yeah,
championship
Miami
this
gets
year.
there, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I can understand where he's looking at it from that perspective since probably the year 2000. Obviously, it's more SEC and Big 10,
Mhm.
more SEC in general, but then Big 10 and then any other conference.
Yeah, one of the things that I liked because he was asked about the challenge of playing a 9-game schedule, and he said, "I'm not going to whine and complain about being an SEC head football coach," and I loved that because it's like, who cares at this point in time? You're not going to agree with what the Big Ten says, and the Big Ten's not going to agree with what you said. And then I heard them talking the other day. They were doing one of the interviews with Mr. College Football,
Tony Barnhart.
Barnhart, yeah, and he said because we heard so much criticism probably the beginning of this year, it must have been, when it was like, oh well, the Big Ten said they wouldn't go to 24 if the SEC agreed to 12 or whatever the case may be. So he was clarifying that, and he said pretty much the Big Ten came and said, we'll agree to 16 if you sign an agreement that eventually we're going to get to 24, and the SEC wouldn't sign that. So because of that, then the Big Ten backed up, and we're like, never mind, then we're just going for 16 because you didn't agree to what we didn't hear any of that part. It was all like, the Big Ten backed in on their agreement with the SEC, and that's not what happened at all. It was the SEC didn't agree with the Big Ten, which is what we've been dealing with the whole time. But when it comes to this is part of the problem, is those two conferences, the Power Two, are not agreeing and can't agree on anything. So we have these issues. But I do like that he's not sitting there and being like, oh no, if we're playing the 9 games and we have to play a Power 4 out of conference and blah blah blah. I'm glad he didn't lean into that and was just like, I'm glad to be here. Like it's a real privilege to be coaching an SEC school.
I mean, look, I get it. You don't want to risk losing, but why wouldn't you want to play the best he can play? You know,
Nick
I know
Saban talked about that today, too.
I mean,
play all 12 Power 4 games is what he said.
I get if you need one to warm up, no disrespect to the warm-up teams out there, but there are warm-up teams, just to get into a game and, I don't like those late. I can't stand those. Like, you're in the thick of your
A lot of times they happen the weekend before the rivalry weekend. Yeah,
I don't
if
like
there's
that.
not a bye, then
move that out of there, in my opinion.
Sure.
Keep them whether you're in conference or tough out of conference. But
we were laughing off the air. Was it yesterday or the day before when Brett McMurphy tweeted out? And normally, obviously, he has a ton of great content and actual news to break as well. But he tweeted out, like, the Florida-Georgia game will not be in Jacksonville the next 2 years. It'll be in Atlanta this year and then in Tampa next year. And I'm like, we've known about the renovations here in Jacksonville for a while now, and that news came out also a while ago. I've already gotten an email for tickets for the Florida-Georgia game in Atlanta because, of course, I've bought Florida tickets in the past.
Yeah.
I'm sure next year I'll get an email about buying tickets in Tampa. But I don't really understand how that's news. But either way, it seems like some people may not have been aware of that.
Yeah, there was confusion. I mean, I saw emails from the Jaguars recently. Guys, we are playing in Jacksonville this year. And I think some people thought Orlando happened this year. So there was some confusion there. I think some people didn't know if it was officially agreed on yet because there was the kind of talk of if it was going to be a home and home, like just let them play at the Swamp one year and then let them play in Athens the other year. And they obviously didn't end up doing that. It's Atlanta and Tampa. So it's like kind of close, like kind of home and home, but not quite.
But you make more money than if you have the home and home.
Yeah.
The neutral site games are always going to make more money, which, at some point in time, I wonder if we'll start seeing teams play more than one neutral site game in a season.
Yeah.
Just because, hey, that NIL is super expensive at this point in time. But yeah, I feel like when it comes to SEC Media Days, the overall vibe is that Florida kind of waltzed in and gained a lot of attention the way that John Summerall was. Obviously, a reporter's cell phone went off, which in 2026, you don't have your cell phone on mute all the time anyway, but whatever. And then especially especially if you're at a conference, in a press conference, something along those lines. And so he joked with the reporter, like, you would be kicked out of our team meeting room.
Yeah.
And then the
He's
reporter,
like, you're lucky I don't throw my podium right now.
well, the reporter's phone just kept going. Like, I guess they couldn't get to it fast enough. So then he's like, yeah, you're lucky I don't throw this podium at this point in time. So he had some humor and things like that. And so, again, whatever happens during SEC Media Days is not going to translate necessarily to wins and losses in September, October, November, and hopefully December, January. But I do feel like at least now we're not talking like where we talked about, you brought it up, Taylor, when it was ACC kickoff and Mike Norvell just seemed dejected and despondent, and there just wasn't a whole lot of energy, right? And so at least now that the Florida program is at least headed in the right direction attitude-wise, we'll see if coaching-wise that follows suit.
Translates to wins,
Yeah, look, I think we had a very similar Jaguars conversation last offseason. We didn't know that Liam Cohen, we knew he was a good play caller, but there's a lot more that goes into it, Tom, than for a head coach than just play calling. We didn't know that he would be able to handle everything that was put on his plate, including, oh, by the way, Travis Hunter playing two ways.
And fixing Trevor. That was one of the biggest things is, are you able to get Trevor to play where we've seen the glimpses and have him play that consistently? And when he came in and right away was like, we've got to fix a lot of it. We've got to fix the mechanics. We've got to fix the footwork. And we were all like, oh, he's coming in here guns a-blazing right away. And I think that was, it's instilled confidence pretty early in us in that sense. But there's always hesitation with newness because the whole conversation is always going to be, he can play call, but we've seen those play callers not transfer to being able to be head coaches because so much more goes into being the head coach.
Yeah, I think once we learned more about him, you know, I didn't know other than he was the coordinator for Tampa and he was a good play caller.
And once upon a time, a quarterback.
Well, then you learn these things. You know, his dad was a coach. His dad's a big influence. His mother was a big influence. Lost his mother, you know, early in life.
In college.
In college, right?
And his dad's still now around the franchise.
You just learn about him a little bit more. You understand he's from New England and it's probably a little old school with his dad. And then what he did in college, he still holds the records. And then what McVay, you know, felt about him in L.A. and, you know, telling him to go take that Kentucky job and call plays and come back. And, you know, you learn more about him. You're like, I get it. And I tell you, the one part of the whole thing, and we've heard it before, but for Baselli to recognize that
right away
without anybody really knowing anything, you know what I mean? Like, and him saying that's our guy, that's a special gift, you know, like and the granted, it's 1 year, so let's not get too carried away. He's been great, and we hope for more greatness, but
the team was 4-13 the year before.
No, I know, but for that gut to be like, and by the way, you got to get rid of the GM if you want this kid, if you're a young man, if you want Liam, he's got to go, and Shot's like, Tony, you sure?
Yeah,
I'm sure.
He's like, I was just live on air with him.
Yeah, this is a guy.
I just had a press conference with him. And you guys want me to get rid of everyone that works there? Like, no, Shad. We're asking specifically about Trent.
The drama of that back and forth, though, of like, oh, well, he went to the Rams and then Kentucky and then Rams and then Tampa, and then he didn't tell Tampa he was doing this interview. And there was like drama around that because it's like, is he loyal? Like, is he the type of guy that can be loyal to somewhere? Because he's sure hopped around a lot. And granted, like you said, it's just 1 year, but it feels like he's one of the more loyal and dedicated coaches we've seen in a long time in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean, you dedicated to winning.
Yeah. There was that whole thing where they said that Liam and his wife Ashley said that they had to take one of their kids to the hospital or what have you, and Tampa fans thought they were making that up, and Ashley had to go out on social media and be like, no, this is for real. My child is sick. And it's like, this is how crazed sports fans are.
Totally.
We will stalk you.
There's like flight trackers.
Oh,
when the Bears were hiring Ben Johnson, they were literally tracking the poor guy's plane.
Oh, absolutely. And for big college coaching searches, there's always those flight trackers as well. Yeah, we'll stalk you. And
that's right. And your family.
Correct. But when you win for us, we will also make sure you don't ever buy a drink in this town again.
Yeah, you'll always be protected.
We got your back.
That's right.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Golden moment awaits on the other side. You're listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Take that game with you. What a turn of events! Radio play-by-play is where you are. 1010XL.
Birthdays, anniversaries, and graduations happen year-round. That's why it's good to have Kuhn flowers on hand to send that floral arrangement with a simple click. Call or showroom visit. Make Kuhn flowers your go-to when you need to send your love.
When my dad tore his meniscus skiing, he was told that surgery was the only fix. But surgery meant giving up his hobbies, so we went to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. They specialize in non-invasive treatments that get you back to fighting shape. My dad got a platelet-rich plasma, or PRP injection. It took a fraction of the time to heal, and now he's back to doing what he loves.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey, Tom McManus here. I know how awful it is to get injured out there, but never due to someone else's negligence like many of you. If this speaks to you directly, you got to check out Morgan & Morgan, man, the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. Over 1,100 lawyers, offices all across the land, and over $30 billion recovered for all of their clients. And guess what? They don't get a single dime unless you do. That's right, a proven track record with backup. Hard to find these days, not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. Get injured due to someone's neglect. Get paid. Dial pound law on your cell or check out forthepeople.com.
Some auto shops love giving your wallet a flush every time you visit. Not AA Automotive. They fix only what needs fixing, nothing more. Honest, fast, and fair. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street. Boring name, awesome service, and no wallet flush.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Awaken 180 clients have just reached the 1 million pounds down mark. 1 million pounds, a city of people. That's thousands of people who reclaim their lives the easy way, the medication-free way. What's stopping you? Awaken180weightloss.com.
The Cash Building Material SEC Football Media Days coverage on 1010XL previews the upcoming SEC football season. Listen for interviews of coaches, players, and analysts as they give insight throughout the day on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, what's the matter? I came right over.
It's my water, Jason. Smell this.
Yeesh.
That came out of my tap, Jason. I'm worried there's a lot more in there than just H and 2 and O.
Well, yeah. In Jacksonville, we have some of the hardest water in Florida. There's calcium carbonate in there and magnesium sulfate and...
I'm sorry, calcium... what now?
It's the same stuff that makes those cool stalactites in caves.
Well, it's making my shower all powdery, my tap's all crusty, and caves make me claustrophobic.
Put on these sunglasses. Whoa. Call Bueller Air and Plumbing. And our water treatment experts will do a free water quality test. We'll check for minerals, bacteria, anything that might make your water smelly or damage your plumbing or appliances.
And if it's bad, you can fix it?
Your glasses will come out cleaner, your shampoo will lather better.
I like a good lather, Jason.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window World, simply the best for less. And thank you for your business.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Golden moment for today. A lot of good stuff coming out of SEC Media Days, and that'll continue. I'm sure we'll get some good quotes from Lane Kiffin tomorrow, too.
Oh, yeah.
We know he always gives us some content. That's something that will be coming out of there. But, Tommy, going back to something you were talking about earlier, and you were talking about the stadium and the domes, and we started talking about the grass, and we've seen a lot of players in the last couple months, especially because of the World Cup, start to be very vocal about that turf versus grass conversation. Well, I saw something earlier on the Dan Patrick Show from Mike Florio, and he said it's now a collective bargaining issue. 92% of the players can say we prefer grass. Well, at least 50.1% have to prioritize grass when it comes time to negotiate with the league. What are you willing to give up to get grass fields across the league? Which I think is an interesting side of this, because we hear so much of like, okay, why aren't they pushing more? Well, there's a lot of things that they're fighting for a lot of things. And so what to you is worth the most to be fighting for at that point in time?
The owners are saying, look, you want half the money. Well, then you got to pay for half the costs that help with, your betterment of playing.
Yeah.
Like grass fields, right?
Yeah.
So what would I be willing to give up? I mean, if I was still playing, I mean, if I want grass fields, I'd give up whatever percentage that is. You got to do the math. What does it cost to put those fields in, and then times that by 32 and divide it by whatever. You know what I mean? Like, what's my actual cost to that?
Is it going to an 18-game schedule? Like, would you say, okay, we're willing to go from 17 games to 18 games
if you give us grass?
If you give us grass.
Here's my question with the 18th game. Am I getting paid extra for the 18th game, or are you just adding that game into my already salary?
Yeah, I would imagine you're getting paid extra.
So I'm getting an extra
but then you're
game
get
check.
Some of that reduced by the cost of the grass.
But still more than I guess I would know, because it's an extra game.
Well, are preseason games in the game, like your contract, your normal contract?
No, normally they're not.
Okay.
It's the regular season, right? Yeah. So
because they'll be taking away one of those if they add the 18. So you lose a game in preseason, but you add a game.
And I think players are
18.
They don't
Fine
care
with
about
that.
I mean, I feel bad for the guys trying to make the team, because I don't know how you do that, but for the guys that start in that, they don't care if you play preseason games or not. Maybe
the guys trying to earn that spot have 2 games to prove themselves now, rather than 4 to try and get something going, or
but
3
if it goes
now.
to 1,
yeah.
So to answer your question, I'd give up. I'd play the 18th game if you're going to pay me the extra game. I mean, if you're going to tell me I just got to add a game into my normal salary, then I'd be like, no, because then my per game just went down.
You're losing money at that point.
Pay me my per game, and I'll play.
You'd also be okay with 2-a-days, because that's what you went through. So
I would love one a day. So are you kidding me? I can't even imagine. And they work hard. I don't want to make it sound like they're not working, because they are. They work their. But to have all that time for recovery, for sleep, like for rest, because you can only do so much. You're only allowed out there so much. You can only do so much physical. Now you're probably watching a lot of film. You probably you're doing a lot of boring meetings that, whatever. You just got to deal with that. I always felt like I could do 2-a-days all day long. What killed me were the meetings at night. And a lot of them were not necessary, but it was more that grind.
I feel like meetings, you could have stopped.
It's just part of the grind. You know what I mean? We're going to keep them up late and then give them no sleep. I never understood that. Like, why you keep me till 10? I have a snack. I don't get to my room till 11, and then you got me up at 6. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
And you were all in the same hotel room.
Yeah, we were all in the same hotel.
not room.
Wow,
Hotel.
that's a lot.
Yeah. They put me and Mitch by the freight elevator, which was a big mistake, let me tell you. I mean, they had to have known we were sneaking out from time to time. You had to from time to time. But with that being said,
nowadays there's cameras.
It's got to be a grind.
Yeah.
Because the reward is you get to play a regular season, and then the reward after the regular season is the playoff. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's the big show.
And by the way, the ones in the Iron Jaguars games, the team that won those does get to stay out of the hotel room for training camp. The whole camp, they get to stay out of the hotel. I heard Kai Stevens join Hayes and Ryan on the lead, and they asked her about that, and she said that as far as she knows,
one of the
that
winnings.
that was the gift. That was the
you can
carrot.
win. I mean, listen, I whatever, go home, just win, baby. Is all I care.
Sure.
I remember I took a trip in 2000 to the Rams. Mike Martz was the head coach, and I remember him saying, "We allow our players to stay home during camp," and I was just like, "Really?" Like, you're going to let me stay on? Like, that's not a good idea.
That's bold of you.
I'm not married. I'm not, tied down. I'm not like, there's no chain to my ankle or anything. Like, you're going to let me go home?
Not that he's calling Christina chained to his ankle.
No, you know what I'm saying. But I would go home to her and hang out with the kid, whatever. That's different. But I don't know. That's interesting. Whatever. But the whole idea of training camp is to
team bonding,
grind, bond, earn the right. Little sweat, little blood, little fights, little stuff, and then let's go play some football.
What's harder, training camp, especially back when you did it, versus the regular season? Because you're only obviously playing the one game.
Listen, the first year was, look, I was on the bubble, so that psychological, mental, that was, oh man, that was, you're like, am I there? Am I not there? You're trying to find out too, like Lucius Selma was an outside linebacker coach. He wasn't but he would always give me just little, like he'd say, like, hey, they like you, like they're talking about you in the meetings, keep doing what you're doing. That's just that kind of stuff. Yeah. But nothing like, hey, you made, but it was such an up and down, so.
Yeah, I only think of the physical. You're right. For the bubble guys, and there's a lot of them.
And I'd been cut before, and I knew it was my last chance. And, getting cut sucks. You got to go home, and, people say, oh, well, you made a good run. You're like, shut up. I'm going to smack you one, but thank you. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you didn't get it done, so it's tough. But so I always do feel for those guys. But then look, the regular season, I don't know, it's regimented, so it's every day what's going on. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Wednesday's hard work, Thursday's hard work, Friday's a little easier. Saturday you're off for traveling, Sunday you play, Monday you're kind of off, Tuesday you're off.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like and then you do it week after
versus
week
training camp, which is like 6 days on, 1 day off.
Well, yeah, and then back, we were doing 3 days early, like which was. And by the way,
I don't think at least camp gets to be at 8:30 a.m. You play games at 1 p.m. here in Florida, and that's
I don't think I have it in me as a media person for 3 days.
No, right. Yeah, that's a lot. I
didn't
even think of that.
When you were talking about being the bubble player, Tommy, and you just mentioned the preseason too. For you, did you notice like you approached preseason different as one of those bubble players than the rest of the team was, or did it still feel like they treated it like a game?
No, because there were other guys in my shoe, know, but the starters, they probably looked at it like, oh, I got to go to camp. I'm like, I can't wait to go to camp because I can't, I'll never make the team without going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're probably like, camp, let's just get through it and get ready, stay healthy. And you do eventually get into that. But when
then there's the type of guys that are battling too, the position battles. Like
starters.
Let's say if Cole Van Lannon was healthy for training camp.
Yeah.
Walker Little v. Cole Van Lannon, right? Like that's maybe a different approach than Anton Harrison, who has solidified the right tackle position.
Yeah, and just think about so when you're done at night, you're making your calls. How's it going? You got to go through the whole, How'd you have a good day today? Well, I had he had a good day. I had a good, you know what I mean? It's a lot.
No, it's hard because
it's a lot.
You spend so much time with the guys that are your direct competition.
Yeah.
That's the part that's always so crazy. Like Ventrell Miller and Branson Combs will spend a ton of time together, and yet they're competing
for the same spot.
Yeah. Sort of this. Yeah, exactly the same spot.
Yeah, you just, look, it's competition, but there is a brotherhood there. You're in a fraternity. You're both wanting to win. You're both, because me and Schwartz would go through it, right? But we'd always play, even though if he started or I started, right?
Yeah.
So, because I always went in on goal line and short yardage. He would, go first down, and then I'd run down a punt and kickoff. You know what I mean? And then when I started, he would, just kind of moved it around. So you knew you're playing. But yeah, you want to start. There's something about saying it. It's funny. A guy, this door-to-door salesman, he almost got me today. I couldn't believe it. Like, I was just like, because normally I'm like, listen, man, I don't have the time. I'm to come up here and do it. Yeah, that's great. But anyway, so he's like, what's your email? I'm like, I don't want to give my email. And then he's like, what's your phone? I'm like, I really don't want to give you my phone. Like, I'm not going to. He's like, just give me your email. Just send me. I said, all right, linebacker 55. He goes, oh, were you a linebacker? I was like, yeah, I was a linebacker. He's like, with who? And I told him, he goes, did you start? And I was like, yeah, some. And then just the question, But that's what everybody's like, well, it wasn't enough to play in the end.
Yeah.
Like, well, did you start?
Right. Yeah.
And then if you're a starter.
Special teams.
Yeah. And then if you're a starter, like, well, did you go to the Pro
Yeah,
Bowl?
did you run? Yeah, were you a Pro Bowler? Did you win the Super Bowl? Did you do that?
Are you MVP of the league? Like, what?
You probably have
So
heard
funny.
of me if I was.
You're the .08er.
Yeah, you would have asked
Super Bowl
me.
MVP. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, 1 segment to go here, and then we'll turn things over to the Fringy Show live in Tampa. You're listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Look no further, folks. I found the best wings in Jacksonville. Frank Frangie here. Bono's Barbecue now has the best wings, and my new go-to wing flavors are garlic parm and lemon pepper. Nothing cools you down this summer like their new strawberry lemonade. So head to Bono's today and get 6 wings and a side for $10.99 or a 10-wing basket for just $15.99. But hurry, this deal ends July 31st. To find a Bono's near you, head to bonosbarbecue.com. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Hey, Tommy Mack here for Armstrong Fence Company, locally owned First Coast business for nearly 20 years. Hurricane season is here, so don't wait for that first storm warning. Your fence is your first line of defense. Loose boards, weak posts, or damage can turn into big problems in high winds. Armstrong Fence Company handles repairs and builds from stadiums to your own backyard. Get a pre-storm fence check today. Call Armstrong Fence Company or search online, Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
Replacing windows can be a big investment, and you deserve straight answers. Well, at Cash Building Material, I got them. Prosser here. Cash Building Material explain my options, answer my questions, and help me find windows that fit my home and my budget. No pressure, just honest advice. And they'll do the same for you. So before you buy windows or doors, get a cash quote. Search Cash Building Material and click on their replacement tab. Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Lauren Brooks. Summer is here, and if your vehicle's air conditioning isn't blowing cold air, now is the time to get it fixed. Big Chief Tire has you covered with $50 off AC services before the Florida heat reaches its peak. It's quick and convenient, and it gives you one less thing to worry about this summer. Schedule your appointment today at WeKeepJacksRollin.com. You'll be glad you did when those temperatures start climbing.
Hey friends, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Have you ever stored a gallon of leftover paint, opened the can years later, and it's rusty, crusty, and unusable? Next time, secure the lid tightly to ensure no leaks and store the can upside down. Oxygen can't get to it, therefore no rust and no crust. If you'd like more tips or have a question about a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance painting.
Lauren Brooks here. If you're like most of us at 1010XL, you have a list of things you want to get done before football season begins. Make an appointment today to check out Closets by Design's new showroom on Phillips Highway, especially the awesome man cave with a full bar. Closets by Design can customize the perfect entertainment space for you to gather for game days. Call 904-878-9393 to schedule your free in-home design consultation and get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and free installation, or visit closetsbydesign.com.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296. Find Salem, NMLS ID 1182429. Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Truth be told, I kept waiting for a song that I would know, Jared, and Every time I've asked, I've been like, nope, never heard of that
I like it, though.
I do know this one's newfound glory. I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got Kansas.
Oh,
You
you're
did
right.
get
I did. Duh. You're right.
You did.
I did get
Good one.
Kansas.
Good
Valid. I forgot about
Yeah.
Kansas. Carry on my
Not
wayward
an
son.
alternative. It's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
And tomorrow,
I like it.
Tom gets to pick all the music.
Mhm.
We will have no idea what he's going to play until it starts.
I don't either. Yeah.
Blaring. I don't either, but he'll figure
I'll
it
get
out.
it together.
You can't find his playlist. Then
Dad
he
Bod
already
Friday,
started.
too, by the
Oh,
way.
yes, Dad Bod
Tell
Friday.
us more about
Atlantic Beach at
sometime.
Colhane sometime at nighttime. About 8 o'clock-ish, 7:38. Yeah, come on out.
Perfect.
And Colhane's right there on Atlantic Boulevard, so you can't miss it.
that. Sounds like a
Be
plan.
awesome. Yeah, good times. We'll be rocking.
Let's talk to another person who loves music.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Well, Frank, it sounds like John Sumrall certainly won over the crowd today.
Oh my goodness! Hello, Lauren, you and Taylor and Tommy. Yes, he look. What? And I went on a number of different shows like we always do when I'm here, and they all asked me, "Wow, Sumrall was great. Is that what you expected?" I said, "Listen, what you guys heard is what we've been hearing the whole time since he's had the job. We'll see if he can coach. We'll see if they're any good." But as far as charisma and authenticity and excitement and energy, he's been the best guy here. Lauren, he's been the best so far, and there's 4 more coming tomorrow. And maybe Sark or Kiffin will be better. But right now, he's been the best guy of the 10 so far.
Excellent. You guys did a great job talking to both John and then obviously his players as well today. I really enjoyed hearing from VB3.
I'm telling you, I told Matt, he's going to be a movie star. Yeah, he's got the look. You know what I mean? He's got the look. He's got the charisma. He's going to be. He knows the game. I think his dad's an agent or in the agent business, so he knows the game. We're going to play all those today for people that it's kind of Florida Day today, Lauren. So we're going to hear from all those guys. Pete Golding's salty now, the Ole Miss coach.
Mm-hmm.
That's a salty dude. And I mean, Tommy, I'm telling you, he was saying stuff. He said stuff that I probably can't tell you in one of the breakout rooms. And but he is a salty guy. He's a football coach, man. Kalen DeBoer was kind of boring. He's just trying to hold on, and so but it was an interesting day here for sure.
And then Lane Kiffin tomorrow. Do you think he'll stop by the 1010XL table?
I guess we'll find out, right? As I told you guys before, here's something interesting. I told you virtually none of the head coaches come by here, right? Heupel came by the first day to a couple Tennessees. To Shane Beamer's credit, he went by Atlanta and 2 or 3 of the South Carolina stations. He must have done 4 yesterday. The guy who did the most was John Sumrall, right? Because he came to us first. But then after us, I saw why he did about 3 or 4 stops along the way. Because remember now, he was coaching in Louisiana, so he knows all those Louisiana stations too. So, but he came by. So I'm going to guess Lane at Ole Miss. Lane never came by. So I'm guessing LSU Lane probably isn't coming by either. That'd be my guess, Lauren.
Frank, I thought it was funny. I was listening to the conversation you had yesterday with Gunnar Stockton, and it made me laugh a little bit at one point because Matt was like, you're so quiet, but then on the field, it's just, the switch flips. And he was like, you don't ask MMA players why they just turn to a different level. And I just kind of laughed at that. I was like, because you can tell he's a little bit quiet, but the energy is definitely there.
Well, the MMA answer was a great one.
Yeah.
He said, you don't ask an MMA guy why he hadn't beaten people up on the sidewalk, right? that was kind of his point, So you turn it on when you get in the ring. So, but Gunnar Stockton he's a sweet kid. He's a nice, gentle-spirited kid. I told you he looks like he's 35.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he's had a receding hairline since he was probably 15, and he looks like he's working with 2 kids playing Little League. That's what he looks like.
Yeah.
And so, but he's a good player. So, but it's been fun. It's been an interesting trip here in Tampa. It's been different. A great setup here. Not nearly as many members of the media as we've had over the years. It's probably and Lauren, you've been to this a bunch. It's probably the thinnest group of overall media that I think I've ever seen at the SEC Media Days. Maybe because it's down in Florida, but it's certainly thinner than I've ever seen it.
Yeah, their bosses said, I'm not sending you to Florida in July.
Right, to go party. Exactly right. So, but all that's coming. Danny Werfel today will join us today as well. One of my favorite people in the world. So you'll hear from, it'll be all Florida Day today. All the Florida players, a Florida coach, and a former Gator star coming on our program today.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Frank. We shall be listening.
Thank you, guys.
If you wanted to hear Pete Golding's quote, so he revealed his plan to keep Trinidad Chambliss and Kewan Lacey out of the transfer portal. And he said to them, Google Lane Kiffin, the dude that they would have built a statue of here 3 days ago. Google his name right now. They wouldn't pee on him if he's on fire. He didn't use that word. And so they're going to do the same thing to y'all if you two do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for him, though.
Yeah.
Good for him. Especially at the end of everything. It was all, and we talked about that a little bit yesterday. It was all Lane Kiffin built this team, developed this team, and then he comes in as interim, and they still go in and they do good things in the college football playoff. Now it's your time to prove that you can be that coach to take over and do it. It's not easy because we've talked about Lane for a lot of years, but good for him for being
we talk
fired.
about Summerall retention, retaining those two stars at Ole Miss and not letting them go.
Big,
That's pretty big.
Trinidad had to be able to stay in college football first.
Yeah, the judge helped with that. I think he meant built a statue of him here 3 days ago. But either way, that's just semantics. All right, that'll do it for us today. Great job on the music all day, Jared Justice. For Taylor Dahl, for Tom McManus, for Jared filling in for RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow. But don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show live from Tampa is next.
All over you.
Hey, want to get some lunch? Every city has a lunch table.
And this is our cafeteria.
In Jacksonville, it's XL Prime Time. Coward, Hayes, and Searcy serving hot takes, cooler talk, and a steaming pile of Duval sports.
So delicious.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
Who started the traditional first pitch in baseball?
When your homeowner's insurance policy is up for renewal, it's a good idea to shop around to find a better plan. Southern Oak Insurance for over 20 years provides Floridians a clear option. SouthernOak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The ceremonial first pitch tradition was started by U.S. President William Howard Taft April 14, 1910, at Griffith Stadium in Washington, D.C.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I can tell you, in this financial climate, or really any, it's never been more important to make your money work for you, which is why I'll recommend Mike McGuire and the Wealth Management team at South State Bank. Financial planning is based on trust, because it's so important. You can trust the South State team. They offer the best combination of sophisticated wealth management strategies with a truly personal approach. That will help you meet your financial goals.